Hey guys, so I wanted to go over, there's a couple of laws I found regarding the Detainee Treatment Act. Now, you guys know, I know a lot about the workings of the Department of Defense, but it's all right here in the public. Title X of Public Law. Matters relating to detainees. I kept seeing my name with something that said the matter of, right? Matters relating to detainees. No person in the custody or under the effective control of Department of Defense or under detention in a Department of Defense facility shall be subject to any treatment or technique of interrogation not authorized by and listed in the United States Army Field Manual on Intelligence Interrogation, except it shall not apply with respect to any person in custody or under effective control of the Department of Defense pursuant to criminal or immigration law. So what they do is they bring you here as a baby from a different country, which you guys know I originally found out, and then they keep you here basically with no rights. So they do anything they want because it says right here they can't. It's not supposed to affect the rights under the United States Constitution, but it does. And then again, prohibition on cruel, inhuman, degrading treatment or punishment of persons under custody and control of the United States government. Nothing in this section shall be construed to impose any geographical limitation on the applicability of the prohibition against cruel, inhuman, or degrading treatment or punishment under the subsection limitation. The provisions of this section shall not be superseded, except by a provision of law enacted after the date and then they're supposed to do this. But up here, it says it doesn't matter because it doesn't apply to an immigrant. So they bring you here under the bilateral agreement with England to basically use you in torture studies. And clinical trials, serve a huge purpose. So this is January 29th, 2020. A couple of things have changed since then. But then I want to go into this. Okay, why are the high-value detainees being brought here in the first place? As women and children, I think it's this reason. Why is the number of people held at Guantanamo Bay very similar to the number of golden blood types they've found across the world? Okay, so RH null blood, I kept seeing the word null on documents I would find. So, null blood is so rare, it's worth its weight in gold. Okay, so what they do to determine if you have this blood type, they don't put it in your chart because people could target you and then just, maybe kidnap you. But they do test for this when you're born. It's called PKU. All children have this test. And it's done a day or two after the birth of the baby, whether an immigrant baby or not. I kept wondering, why are the immigrants having to do these biometric tests, which are a blood test? Okay, I kept wondering why they were, causing that to happen. The test is done after your baby is 24 hours old and has ingested some protein in the diet. All right, so this is the test, and it means that you don't have the ability to break down something called phenylalanine. It's in a lot of, it's in NutraSweet, it's in sugar-free gum, it's in a lot, it's just an amino acid. I know there's a lot about NutraSweet, using it for torture because it affects memory. And I do know that they used that in torture experiments, but anyway. So what they're not telling you about this is that the PKU, phenylketonuria, is a rare disorder that, it prevents the body from properly breaking down a substance called phenylalanine. Phe is part of proteins that are found in many foods, and an artificial sweetener called aspartame or aspartame. If you have PKU and eat these foods, you can permanently damage the nervous system and brain, causing seizures, psychiatric problems, and severe intellectual disability. So if you test for this, they can say you're allegedly disabled. All right. But what they're not telling you about this test, which I've done, I mean, you know how they hide this stuff, is that a lot of the people with PKU seem to also have golden blood. And can people with golden blood have babies? They can have babies, but they have to be careful who they have babies with, right? If the mother has Rh null and the baby has Rh positive, and if the mother's blood gets sensitized by the baby's positive blood, then the mother may produce protective proteins called antibodies that could target future pregnancies or lead to this. So I was wondering why in ICE custody they were forcing, this word right here, I'm not going to say it, this one I'll just highlight it, this one. Forcing this because detainees aren't always in a, if they don't want you to know about this, what is the best way to do it? Well, release you. There's a ton of alternate release programs under the detainee program. Alternate release while you wait for deportation. Alternate release detainee protocol. You're still under custody and control of the federal government. They're admitted or released. The detention standard applies to both, because those who are released from secure custody constitute ERO's non-detained docket, right? And so somebody was showing me this document about, there was like a job posting for internment camps, and everybody that was going to be at the internment camp had guns, because the high-value detainee is worth a lot of money to the federal government, because they just steal their blood, they steal all of their earnings. And so detention management, the ERO's non-detained docket. So you're still under custody even if you're released. But the people who can't work, actions to reduce population and maximize space. Let's see. What's this? Community-based alternatives to detention. You're still under custody and control. That's what I'm trying to say. You're still under custody and control of the federal government and kept as like a golden goose. A lot has been happening under these laws lately. I was talking earlier about Buck versus Bell. I don't know if I talked about it here. Buck versus Bell targets white women and children who are poor for castration and, other tortures, basically by saying they're allegedly feeble-minded. So they have no rights to own guns. They have no rights to earn money. They have no rights. They have none of the legal rights protected on American soil. But what they're not telling you in Buck versus Bell is that it's a eugenics program targeting a race, and that race is white children. So, what else has happened recently? There's a couple of other cases that I found related to what I was talking about, but I can't remember what they are right now. So